It's been now maybe a week that I'm posting every single day on this podcast that I'm recording and that I'm posting. And I have recorded a lot of different episodes that I'm like, okay, I'm just scheduling them and then they just go live. And it's been 5 days now that I'm following the same process on social media. And I've titled all of this as finding my voice again, not necessarily just on social media or on the podcast. I'm even trying now Threads to just take it as a game, to really just not even like rebrand myself or reinvent myself, but just really, what is my voice, It's been a year now. 2025 has been chaotic, and in long story short, my dad passed away. I've been evicted from my house. I've adopted such a fucking cute puppy. I closed my business. I broke up with my partner. I lost my hair and I left a country where I've lived for 10 years. So those are the big lines of the first 6 months of 2025. And every month there was a big fat loss, So those were the physical loss, But then I've lost a lot also in terms of friendships, and we need to talk about that as well. Like, we never really talk about friendships. But anyways, I've lost a lot physically. I've lost a lot metaphysically, emotionally, spiritually, and everything. This was really the year of rupturing everything. Also, then my GP said I was going through a burnout, and he was like, yeah, you're depressing, honey. He's Jewish and Tunisian, so he's like, ma chérie, tu es en train de déprimer. Tu nous fais un petit burnout. And I was like, no, absolutely not. Crying and shit. So I don't really like words, I don't really like to fit in boxes. I don't really like labels and everything. I think maybe that's why this podcast is the way it is. But anyways, it's been a year of tremendous changes that I'm only learning to digest and integrate as of January 2026. And I didn't want to stay in that lane of, oh yeah, she's going through a burnout. Her year has been shit. She's lost so much. Yeah, okay, great. I mean, not really great, but life happens, right? And in those, let's say, metaphysical losses, a lot has been about how I was raised, my personal beliefs, and personal behaviors that I've mimicked since I'm a child, or that I just got along the way. Amongst them, one of the biggest ones is people pleasing. So this is one of the biggest things that I started losing, which I'm so fucking grateful for. It's still like a sort of like, I'm walking on this thread, sometimes it's like, yes, I got this, and I say full no, full stop, no justification. And sometimes it's like, no, but yeah, So work in progress, but I feel like we're 75 work in progress versus the 25 or even 0 that I've had for the past 34 years of my life. And with that also comes, okay, what's my voice? Who am I? And I feel like the biggest loss of 2025 for me was really just identity shift. When people say like, oh, she's going through an identity shift, I'm like, oh, let's all calm our tits. C'est rien, on se calme, But I've really felt it, really, really felt it in 2025, ever since my dad left, January, literally. So with that, really right now, I'm just trying to focus on, okay, who am I? What is it that I want to say? And kind of like, how do I say it? And really, instead of like, sometimes I feel like people just rebrand themselves and they're like, okay, I'm going to be this, I'm going to be that. And sometimes it kind of clashes. That's my personal opinion, but maybe rebranding yourself should be named something else, where it's like maybe coming closer to yourself, because I'm not reinventing myself. I know who I am. I know what I stand for. And maybe the reinvention for me is really just showing more of that instead of what I expect people or maybe what people expect from me to show, and what I think people want me to show, you know. So really so based out of like this external outcome, my environment, the people around me, versus now it's really starting to come more from, okay, what is it that I want to say? Does this fit me? Do I like this? And kind of like ask myself all these questions. And I decided to not only put myself into the reflection phase, which is great, writing, talking, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, it's also actions speak louder than words for me, always. And by the way, my voice is a bit weird, is because I'm sick. So it's great. So putting that into action, I decided to start a podcast. And I decided at the same time to start my 21 days challenge of finding myself again. AKA posting one single video on Instagram, not giving a fuck about the algorithm, not giving a fuck about the hashtags, but really just what is it that I want to say. And actually my story now is really just bringing you back to all the learnings that I've extracted from 2025 and that I'm finally digesting. Oh my God, my nose is so stuck. I need to do something about it. Okay, much better. So I'm doing that also on social media, one video a day, not giving a fuck about Instagram, not giving a fuck about the algorithm or what people are going to say, if they comment, if they like, if they save, if they share, just really not giving a fuck. And my process is do the video, record yourself, edit, put the fucking subtitles, schedule it, let it go for 6:30 every fucking day, and then turn off your phone. And then the next day only do I maybe talk about it or answer comments or share or anything like this. And this has been a lifesaver, one. Two, the second thing that I find myself not stuck with, but I see the pattern again, is like, oh my God, this video worked. So let me just reverse engineer what went great with this one and copy paste the same format and same process to another video. And I'm like, this doesn't work like this. At least for me, it doesn't work like that, because I am in that process of just finding my voice, you know, of sharing my story. And whoever wants to listen, fine. Whoever doesn't want to listen, fine as well. There's space for everything and everyone. And it's very funny to find yourself again in that same process of like people pleasing, of like, oh my God, what are people gonna think? What are people gonna say? And I almost deleted my video yesterday because I was like, oh no, it's not doing the same numbers as the one from the day before. And then I was like, you know what? Shut the fuck up. Let the video live. It's not about that. Really remember again that it's not about that. And that brings me to that episode where I talked about integrity, where it was like, walk the talk. That's another opportunity for you to walk the talk, to still do that with integrity, to respect yourself, to respect also the intention that you've had with this project. You know, it's a fun project for me to do that. Just like it's a fun project for me to post here every single day. And I'm going to be honest, we're the 6th of January. I've only shared it with 2 people. My friend Camille, salut mon poussin, and actually my ex-partner. And actually, no. Anyways, so I haven't even like posted it out there, and I'm not even scared or afraid to share, oh la la, but more like, let me just find myself. Let me also start to learn how to do things for me. You know, I've spent my whole life doing things for people, and I love it, right? One of my love languages is also gifting, is also quality time, and I love being of service and everything. But how about I have that same loyalty and that same devotion to people? I can also do that for myself. So if anything right now, finding my voice again is all about that. And it's a very exciting process and a very tricky one, or I don't want to say tricky, but confronting as well, because indeed you are confronted with your past behaviors, with, it's even behaviors, not even like beliefs, because I truly believe in myself, but it's just those behaviors. And it's just so funny to see that in real time, to feel it, and yet still making the decision of, I'm still gonna do that motherfucking shit, bruv.